welcome back to some more Genshin Impact. So I'm going to be trying this Where Shadows Ride thing again. I failed to do it the last time, so I want to give it one more shot. I adjusted these things as well, even though it doesn't seem like I did. I equipped some different ones, and hopefully that'll make the difference when I try this again. So let's get started. I also switched out my two characters. Venti and Fischl were switched out for Barbara and Kaya. I'm hoping that will be sufficient to take care of some of the problems. I've actually tried this a couple more times, just to see what it is I can do, and this is like, I haven't tried it with this composition yet, so hopefully this will work. So first of all, do that, followed by that. I may as well have Barbara use that. So Kaya is really good at taking care of these water guys here, which is good for me because they're kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. Oh.
Stabilize.
Do that. Followed by this. There you go. Okay, so far so good. It could be better, it could be worse. There you go. And that water guy is about to, heal him. But it's okay, because it didn't work out. I can get rid of the other water healing guy here in a second. And I'm saving the elemental burst for the other characters here. Because I want to hopefully use them in the next fight, the big Fatui fight. I used Zhongli's early on because I figured Zhongli's will recover by the time I get to the next part. And I'll have Barbara heal my characters as well before I get to the next part of it too, so. Okay, good. There we go.
Let the show begin.
There we go. So far, so good. I'm gonna be honest, not having Venti made that one fight a little bit more difficult, but not so difficult that it's impossible. So this next fight, the main focus here is going to be on this water guy.
So sorry.
And that's because he is just a pain in the butt to deal with. As long as I get rid of him, though, then none of this, it won't be as bad. There we go. Kaya just took a big old beating. Do that to kind of get Kaya back in the game. There we go. And there we go. Now that I've done that. Ah, crap. No. Okay. That wasn't good. I don't know what's going on there, but I panicked. There we go. I got rid of his shield, finally. That guy and his shield, this little guy right here and his shield, are a big old pain in the butt. I'm not even joking. He got his shield back again. Darn him.
Let the show begin.
There you go.
Solidify. You can't run.
How did he hit me through Zhongli's shield? I don't understand. and he's almost dead, I might actually have time to win.
We've only just begun.
There we go. Now it's just a matter of dealing with these two guys.
Solidify. This is order.
I don't know if I'll have time to, but I hope I do. There we go.
I'll protect us.
My main goal now is to recover as many of the elemental particles as possible for Zhongli, so that way he can continue to do this over and over again. If I get rid of one, it'll be considerably easier to get rid of the other. There we go. And now that I've done that, just gotta get this guy knocked back into the center here, and I should be able to do this part. This was so much easier. It's not even funny. The last time I attempted this off camera, let me just say that I did not get this part. I did not get through that part with very much time, or not, rather, I didn't get through that part at all. I ran out of time. So there's a third part, and I don't know what this one is going to be. Oh man, this is not good.
Let's dance.
I'm amazed that they've got a third part. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm gonna let, you know what?
Come on, we can do it.
I'm hoping that she'll recover her, things fairly fast. So 10 opponents.
Order guide you.
It just needs me to defeat 10 opponents, that's all. It's not even listing a time limit. Well, that's good for me. As long as it doesn't list a time limit, then I'm not worried. Why would they make the other two so hard? What's the point of that? Maybe they'll add a time limit in the middle of it or something. And then I'll be like, wondering why they didn't have the time limit from the start. Whatever. I'm not complaining. I know it sounded like I was complaining for just a small second there, but no, I'm definitely not complaining. Just leave me alone.
Solidify.
There we go. That or the thing is glitched and it's not showing them. I just gotta defeat this guy there. That's all. There we go. These two are getting annoying, so I'm gonna get rid of one of them. And hopefully, by getting rid of one of them, or both of them actually, it'll be a little bit easier.
I'll protect us.
Nope. I'd rather take a little bit longer than take damage that I need to take. I'm keeping an eye out just in case. Okay, the zone is shrinking. Of course the safe zone is shrinking. Come on.
Let's dance.
There we go.
Stabilize.
I don't mind though, because I don't have that stupid timer. I can wait. I'm a patient person. Sometimes. Okay? Barbara, you rock. Okay. There we go. And there we go. That third part is done. Oh, that completed it. Oh man, I am happy. That could have been so much worse. They could have given me a time limit on top of everything else. I am happy. Okay, cool. So I'm now going to do the next part of the Teapot quest. That only took about 10 minutes to do. Oh man. Boy. It just changing up the parties just slightly and changing up those things that I had equipped for that made all the difference. Okay. So for future reference, let me see this very fast. So I'm going to be doing these 3 as well. Just to get an idea of where that's located. Okay. But I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, let's go ahead and do this teapot quest, which requires me to go all the way down here. And there we go. I honestly have no idea what this teapot quest is going to have or going to entail. Oh, I should switch out my party members. Again, I want to get Venti back and Fischl back. But I'm still glad that I had the other 2 with me to deal with those enemies. Barbara being able to take out this shield for the Fire Abyss Mage at the end there.
Where do you want to go next?
Made all the difference. It would have been a lot more... I wouldn't say it would have been impossible, it just would have been more troublesome. Because I would have had to keep running in and out. Just to be able to do that. Okay, where are you, Venti? There you are.
Give me a moment to compose myself.
Now, I do have a level 90 5-star character. Is that 5-star character or 4-star? I haven't actually used her before, which is weird.
Behold, the Prinzessin der Verurteilung.
Okay. One of these days I might actually do that. I'm surprised that I had a level 90 character just sitting there that I've never used. Weird.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yenfei. Is something the matter?
Does this guy have a different voice? I don't remember his voice sounding like this.
Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnyan merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnyan merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Okay. We're about to find out if this guy's been giving out fake hairpins, or fake Smaragdus jadeite hairpins.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings.
Smaragdus nephrite?
Yes. It's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh? If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever. Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything?
Not a trace of elemental energy.
So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time.
Why couldn't Cheeto tell them apart? Actually, I have a better question. Why would this make it so that the ones... Didn't they say that this might be the outer layer of the Smaragdus Jadeite? So, this doesn't prove anything.
These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart.
Okay, then how could you get fooled by the hairpins?
There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But, never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Okay, he's standing right there. I don't understand why I couldn't just put in part of the cutscene. But okay.
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus Jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Okay, so he was claiming the whole ore was Smaragdus Jadeite and not part of it. Okay.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei, but might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
I have no
That was
idea who
quick.
that is.
How can you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
Then don't say they're impossible.
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know?
Is this how Adepti become so adept at everything?
Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singxi.
Okay. Let's go look for this person who I can't remember ever meeting before. Probably a generic NPC, but I could be wrong. I mean, I probably met the character before, I just don't remember meeting the character before. Okay.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossell? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yes, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Sinksy, I'd like for you to confirm for
Oh,
me
look at
once
that.
more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus Jadeite?
Before I go to the next sentence, I just want to point out the desk is like clipping at the bottom, so you can see the things that you're not supposed to be able to see through it. It's glitched out. It's kind of funny.
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
Must be the nature of legal consultancy, not to mention the fact that we're asking about it, so I would assume that there's something going on.
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
Baiju?
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Wow, it's been a long time since we talked to him.
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Okay. Let's go to Baiju then. This has been a very weird quest. Lots of talking to people. Although I'm used to talking to people in games, so it's not a big deal. Huh. What's that over there? Hello, person I haven't seen in forever.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality, and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yenfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus Jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document, won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus Jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago.
Really?
But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhnayan merchant?
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
Okay. Well then,
That
back to
Baidu
Krustle.
guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Okay, here we are.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question.
Let's see. So I need to, show the Jade Mystery one then, right?
This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
Yeah, he brought up the exact argument that I would have brought up.
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like he came prepared. What should we do next?
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
Show the evidence for Beijing jewelry.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus Jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more belligerent by the second.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
Show the evidence from Boo Boo Pharmacy.
What's this?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it.
Okay.
Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item, I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus Jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No, The hairpins aren't actually
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
Again, that's legal consultancy for you.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus Nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation, too.
Oh, no.
I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste?
Yeah, how could you possibly let all that money go to waste? Why not just rip somebody else off? Jerk.
That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus Nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus Jadeite.
Boo-hoo.
I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Zhiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
You shouldn't have made that whole thing about paying 10 times the amount or whatever, but whatever. So why did you charge Zerchow, or how do you say that name, such an extortionate rental price?
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
Alright, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite!
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Zhiqiao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus Jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus Jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever, it'll do.
I just realized he could have still had some hairpins made out of the Smaragdus Jadeite and just sold them to somebody with the vision. It would have still, worked out pretty well for him, I would imagine, but whatever.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more appropriately.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I may.
He got off easy.
I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores.
Not that I really mind that he got off easy. It's not like he was being completely malicious, but still.
If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Yes, though there were some twists and turns along the way.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents.
Yeah, that's true, Paimon.
Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution.
Can't say I've ever met an Adeptus like you before.
An Adeptus? Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
I think there's more than just reason involved here, Paimon.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Okay. And this should probably wrap up at least this part of the quest, right? It says part 1, so we might end up doing a part 2 in the future. Or it might go directly to part 2. I don't know. I'll just zip around the corner there. Up these stairs. There we go. Ran out of stamina. I'm gonna grab this stuff here very fast. There we go. Just because I can.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite?
We were, thanks to Yanfei.
Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to handle the rest.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot, hmm?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside Rex Lapis.
A truly unique Adeptus.
Ah, indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn to change. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Ah, Liyue is not the same place I once knew.
Granny.
All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you a little gift.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
And how long does it take?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment.
Madame Ping begins to construct the gift.
There we go. This Serenity pot is all yours now. hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Thanks, Granny.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot. She will explain everything you need to know about it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Serenity Teapot, or Serenity, I didn't get the chance to read that, but it's fine. So, hold to open this and go to this listing right here. Oh wait, where is it? Oh, it's right here. A teapot obtained from Madame Ping. There seems to be a whole new realm within it. So I can place it right there and then enter it. That's neat. Huh. And that is actually something I will do the next time I play. Because, well, that and some other things as well. I still gotta do, I still gotta collect these. I've still got the more of the Twisted Realm to do. Apparently, anyways. So, yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that I can do. And I will be doing that next time. Thanks again for watching. And see ya. Bye-bye.